This episode is brought to you by Loot Crate. Would you classify yourself as a geek, gamer, or pop culture nerd? Then this is the subscription box for you. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items of gamer and pop culture licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. Make sure you head to lootcrate.com/kindafunny and enter the offer code kindafunny to save $3 on any new subscription. Not that long ago, and depending on where you live, not so far away, Loot Crate blasted off into a voyage across the galaxy, searching the far reaches of space to find universally awesome gear. Using December's Star Wars The Force Awakens loot as the launch pad, we landed on some equally cosmic items from Halo 5 and more. With an exclusive Funko Pop and an exclusive t-shirt in this month's crate, this is the loot you're looking for. Basically, Loot Crate is like a friend who knows what you love and surprises you with an awesome present every month. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate, and when the cutoff happens, Jackie boy, that's it. It's over. So go to lootcrate.com/kindafunny and enter the offer code kindafunny to save $3 on your new subscription today. Colin,
Yes.
what's your topic?
I wanted to talk, I've been thinking a lot about friendship lately.
Yay.
Camaraderie. And specifically what the parameters of friendship are for you guys. And because I think everyone has I think the word friend is used a little loosely sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. What is a friend? What is an acquaintance and all of this? And so I'm curious what you guys, what your parameters are for friends or good friends are. And I'll give you an example. Recently, I guess not too recent now, I broke up with my girlfriend. And it was my choice, but it was hard, it's hard to do, and there's hurt feelings, and it's a lot of difficulty, and it takes you out of the game, And I realized that I had great friends that really understood me, including the people sitting in this room, we were just met, but
But he's the best friend.
Whatever,
best friends.
And because this is not something we've talked about with the audience or anything like that. It's just something I had to deal with. And you guys knew, and you guys were there for me, and it reminded me that I have good friends that understand me. And one of the parameters that I identified is just compassion. Understanding when a person needs to just not be around for a while because they have other shit that they have to deal with. So that the breakup really reminded me that I have it pretty good with my friends, and that I have just a good core of people that I can really lean on and rely on, including you guys. Definitely you guys more than anything maybe right now in my life. But I just identified that, that it's not just about laughs and camaraderie and all those kinds of things. That's important, but it is about for me compassion. It's about loyalty. I'm a fiercely loyal friend, which I think that Greg, more than almost anyone, can speak to in a lot of different ways.
Colin is a fiercely loyal friend.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
I just said that.
I know.
And so loyalty is another thing that I really look for in my friends. I really consider myself there for the people I care about. I might be passive and stuff like that sometimes, but when someone really needs me, I'm there. So that's another thing I identified. So anyway, I just wanted to open the floor up to you guys and see what are the parameters of friendship for you guys, because I think it might be different for different people. Different people have different relationships. My three closest friends in this world are Greg, Mike Pope, and Ramon, and I'm friends with them for different reasons, and we have three different friendships, but there are common themes between all of them, and it is that compassion and honesty and loyalty. I know that these three people I can really call on and rely upon for anything if I really need them. I know that if I really, really needed Mike right now, he would get on a plane and come here. If I really needed Ramon to be here, he would be here, And so even though my relationship with these three people are quite different from one another and founded in different ways and forged in different ways. My friendship with Mike Pope is forged when we were children. My relationship with Ramon is forged when we were in college, and my relationship with Greg is forged as adults. So they mean different things. They do have these common themes, these checkboxes that I like to check with my friends, and that that you have someone in your life that you really care about. So I'm curious what you guys think about that.
Yeah, for me, it actually took leaving IGN to understand what friends meant to me, what that word meant to me. Because, like you were saying, there are the different, eras of your life. There's your childhood, there's your school, then there's your post-school. And with all of that, I've had a whole bunch of friends over the years and acquaintances and this and that. And there's the core group that's always there, and they will always be there, and the loyalty and all these check boxes kind of come into play there. But then there's people that come into your life, and they don't have that time to kind of develop with you in the same way. Like, you can't have those same experiences because you can't have class together. That's just not a thing we can do anymore in our life because that we're past that, you know? And I think a lot of those experiences kind of meld and form what friendship means to you because that's your entire life. Then you start just getting acquaintances and people you work with, and it's like, oh, these are the people I hang out with every day. So we're friends, we're having fun. And it's like, all right, so to be a friend, you need to have fun with them. You need to want to talk to them. You need to be there for them. You need to whatever. But then you start to realize it's like, oh, wait, if you are those things, does that equal friend?
Yep.
Or does that just equal people you're around?
Convenience
and all, and exactly, and all that stuff. And
you're friendly with them.
Yes, that's a really good way to put it.
I've thought a lot about this lately.
Yeah, and then you think about like there's some good friends you can have that can kind of be there, and they could be a good friend momentarily or even for a while. So it's not necessarily that there's people that are just acquaintances, but it's like they were a friend from these years of my life, and you know, maybe I can gain that back or maybe not, but they're gone from my life now in terms of being a friend. Like that, the equation's not equal in terms of that. But it really kind of made me realize that, to me, simplifying it to its most basic thing is my friends are the people that I want to eat dinner with. They're the people that I will hit up to get dinner with and that constantly think, I haven't eaten with this person in a while. It doesn't need to be dinner. It can be lunch. It could be whatever. But it's like for us, when we go too long without getting like a group lunch, it stops feeling like friendship. It starts feeling more like IGN felt.
Sure.
Where it was just like whatever. Because it's like us going to get group lunches is not, I mean, it is when we talk about work and stuff, but it's like we're hanging out. You know what I mean? That to me is when we feel most like friends, or when we do get dinner. It's rare, but when we do. And I think the leaving IGN thing, to me, it's like I have so many people that I love at IGN and I care for in all these different ways, but it's the people that I, week after week, maybe once a month even, it doesn't need to be that crazy, but I'm like, ooh, I haven't had dinner with Finnegan in a while. I haven't had dinner with Darren or whatever. It's like, these are people that they're my friends. So I should eat with them because that is when we can catch up and actually talk. And yeah, I don't know, dinner.
That's the
theme of the episode.
No, I mean, I'm with.
Good point.
Yeah, God damn it, you're right. No, I mean, that was, I think that was the same thing for me, where I think my definition of friendship's been rocked hard, and I'm still trying to come down on what it means anymore. You know what I mean? Because, you would have asked me last year or whatever, and that, I have work with all my friends here, and and it's like, no, they really weren't my friends. We're acquaintances, we're friendly together, but it's not like we had the relationship I thought we had, because you are in that, IGN was always interesting because we were, and this is interesting the same way, is that we're horsing around having fun. Like you're talking about, it's fun times. And then there are these intense bonding situations of E3 and this and travel and that time this happened and we're sharing a hotel room and you know what I mean? And then you get removed from it and it's like, well, where are they? You know what I mean? Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to, like, you know, for Poe and me, it's so natural. You know what I mean? When I'm back in Chicago, I'm with Poe. You know what I mean? Colin and I live together. So when I'm home, Colin's here. You know what I mean? Like, but like, and now it goes both ways, of course. I haven't reached out to a number of people, you know what I mean? Or we have that casual, like, oh man, we should get dinner soon. We should. And then it never really comes together, right? But like, there's that intense draw and bond if I'm in Chicago, I got to see Poe. And when I'm, you know, Colin and I haven't been around each other, we're going to see each other and be, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still struggling with it. I don't have a good answer for it, of how it all works out and parameters and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm friendly with tons of people, but it's not like, it's hard to put anything to it. You know what I mean? Like I struggled with a long time of like, at IGN, I always said we are always family, you know what I mean? And we are. And there's that the family crest of IGN, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it was so cool at the Game Awards this week to win my award, and the next award Dunham won, or Rocket League won, you know what I mean? So he came through with his award, and it was like, oh my God, look at this. This is not the lives we thought we'd have 8 years ago, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's like that family bond, you know what I mean? Where it's like, I'm not running out and getting lunches with Dunham. Granted, he lives far away, but even when I'd roll through San Diego, right? I'm rolling through for work or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, for me, the best, like, I guess for me personally right now, as I struggle with this definition and who's a real friend and who's just an acquaintance and how was it a matter of convenience for this, that, and the other, the best example I can give is Scott Lowe and Cindy Tang, right? Is that like, when they lived in San Francisco, Christina and I hung out with them all the time. Scott and I would go do stuff. And it wasn't like, I shouldn't say all the time, right? Because we're super fucking busy. So maybe I'm talking about we actually go and hang out and, you know, do this once a month or whatever. And then we went to Japan together and there's this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? And when they moved to LA, it was like a month later afterwards where it's like, fuck, I really miss them. And as I went to text him, he texted me the same thing. And you're like, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? And that's, I think, a similar thing with Dave Fenoy. You know what I mean? Like Dave and I have hung out in real life 5-6 times, you know what I mean? But there was that bond where I remember that Sunday morning where I was like, Dave was awesome. And then he looked at my phone, he texted me, hey man, just thinking of you in my backyard. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's
that's real too, because his backyard is amazing.
Yeah, there's like this serendipitous thing of like, you know what I mean? You meet these people and you do have that thing. And like you're saying, it's completely different adult friendship, right? You know what I mean? Like Dave Fenoy and I didn't grow up together, you know what I mean? Like Poe and I have hours and hours of stories from everything we ever did because we were together all the time, you know what I mean, since 8th grade on or whatever, and we'd known each other longer than that. But like that's real, you know what I mean? There's that real connection there where you think of each other and you reach out to talk to each other and you connect when you can and do these different things. So yeah, I don't know. It's what are the parameters for friendship? Weird phone conversation, text messages when you're both thinking of each other.
Yeah, I mean, I it's hard too because like I think for the most part we're so underwater that it's hard for us to even like deal with any interpersonal relationships because we're so busy most of the time dealing with the business aspect of it. But
and that's fucked it up a lot, you know what I mean? Because that's the whole thing is like I bet I don't reach out because I'm so busy, and I bet people don't reach out to me because they know I'm so busy.
Yeah, or they're busy as well, right?
Yeah,
and that is a
nobody
circumstance
does
of where we live as well. Like, and you guys talk about the people we left who are still working at IGN, but I remember being that person when people would leave, and I'd be like, oh, this person meant something to me, but I'm just too fucking busy to like with the rest of the shit that's happening with the other 30 people that are still here fighting the war with me. That like I can't focus on this one person that's coming back into my world now because all of this is too much for me to deal with, right? And I remember that because I remember when Dunham left. I remember when Hillary left. I remember when Doug left. I remember when all these, like Charles left. And I was like,
Charles, yeah.
I was like, fuck, I loved hanging out with Charles or Clayman or Brudvig. And then all of a sudden I saw Brudvig one time at E3 and I was like, how long has it been since I've fucking seen you, man?
Yeah,
It had been like a year. I'm like, oh shit. Now Brudvig and I were never that hugely close, but we were friendly toward each other. We partied, we drank a lot. We did Beta Breakers like 3 years in a row together. So there was a lot of
trial by fire as well.
Oh my God. To me, I think I give people leeway. I give people the benefit of the doubt because there are friends of mine that I've known since I was in the 6th or 7th grade that I don't see for years. And all of a sudden they'll come back into my life and I'll be like, that's right. We have a camaraderie. We have this special thing that is just, it's hard to put words to. But then there's also the idea of the loyalty aspect of friendship that I really appreciate and respect. And it kind of is that old saying where it's really easy to be a good friend when everything's going well.
Yep.
You know, when times are good and business is good and everything's good. But what I really admire about us specifically was that January and December of last year were really fucking hard. Like that was the time that I had heart palpitations. Like my chest hurt. Granted, I was smoking a lot of cigarettes back then with Kevin because he's a little fucker. But that was really, and we were, you know, it was hard. But that's when I knew I was like, I think we're actually pretty good friends because we got through that because we were there for each other because we were loyal, if not to the cause, to the concept that we knew that this was important to all of us in our lives. And
at
this
that
was the
point,
next step.
we knew it was too late.
We
already quit. Even if I didn't like you guys.
No, but
like,
that's not
fuck.
true. I mean, we're all highly employable, and I'd be willing to bet.
Highly employable.
I'd be willing to bet if we were like, you know, if we for any reason had to go back to IGN, we could go back to IGN. That's not what it was. It was we all believed in each other and we wanted to be there for each other. And that to me is like my brother's one of my best friends because he's there for me no matter what.
Right.
You know, he's always going to be. And I'd like to believe that I would be there for you guys. I know Kevin will be there for me just because that is Kevin. Kevin, I would be there for you as well. Yeah. Except we're not smoking anymore, so stop trying to get me to smoke.
Kevin's the weirdest thing though to me, and I mean I don't even know how to bring this up or explain it, but like I do not see Kevin as a friend. I never have seen Kevin as a friend. Like I see Kevin as like it's such a weird like family thing that it's like, but it's beyond family. Like it's more. I see Kevin to say he is a brother. It's like not even accurate enough. It's
you guys are
different
brothers.
than that. We're like we are.
You're the same
there
person.
it is.
Joined.
Now.
I don't know. It's weird.
He's
But it's
kinda
like,
like
I
a-
can't imagine my life without Kevin being there for like 20 hours a day of it, you know?
He's kind of like, you ever get like when you
Yeast
wear the
infection.
same, yeah. Or when you wear the same pair of jeans like 2 or 3 days in a row, and you get one of those weird ingrown hairs on your ass. That's kind of like Kevin. He's there to remind you to change your jeans every once in a while. It's a necessity.
I met Kevin for about 10 minutes, and right before we filmed this, he asked me for a cigarette in the hallway.
I asked you if you smoked because I saw a weird box in your
Pants. You're checking out the bulges.
Is that a box in your pants?
You want to smoke? No, I think to your point, Nick. I mean, I don't know if maybe we'll tell the audience stories one day, like when we're older, but I don't think that they can appreciate how really difficult it was for us in the fall of 2014 to come to conclusions. And I'll never, ever, ever forget the conversations we all had together about should we stay or should we go? And Greg had some pretty, I'm not going to get into it, but some pretty stand-up moments for me specifically. And that was the sign of friendship for me, when some of the things Greg did for me in the fall. But it's you guys really are like my capital F friends, after all that. And I've known you guys for a long time, especially Nick but we went through something that a lot of people can't understand together, and it wasn't easy. It was really hard. It was the best decision we ever made, but we all had to convince each other over and over again that it was the best decision we ever made, or that it was the right decision we were making, and then we realized very quickly it was the best decision we could have possibly made. But there's something to that. I guess like experiential kind of stuff too is part of friendship as well. I met Ramon because we both loved 311. That's why I met him. I would have never met Ramon if we didn't have that same musical experience of I walked by his dorm room and he was playing 311 on the guitar.
Oh, man.
That's how I met him. So it's like
serendipitous.
It's weird. There's weird shit like that sets precedents that then you're like, well, Ramon is like a brother to me. And then isn't that weird that Ramon and Greg love each other? Isn't that strange? There's like something about all of us that's the same.
Some weird commonality, some weird theme that
like
we're not aware of.
Ramon and Greg love each other. It's weird. Like when
I say Ramon, I do the hand motion for myself.
So it's like,
ooh, I like that.
So
That's
isn't
good.
isn't it also a part of a Venn diagram of the things that all mean the same things to each other?
That's how family works. And I mean, because I don't want to speak for you, Colin, but a special friend shout out, and this is is Clements. And you know what I mean? Like Clements, like I remember when he got laid off at IGN when that wave happened or whatever.
I was so
and
pissed off.
And I was devastated. I couldn't stop crying. And it was like at the moment, I mean, we've been through a lot of layoffs. Just how, companies work or whatever. That was the first time where it was ever like, I'm devastated. You know what I mean? And that was and part of what you hit on earlier was the fact that like people leave all the time that we like, you know what I mean? And it's always like, yeah, we'll catch up and you'll see him at E3 or whatever, you know what I mean? And I didn't want that with him, and I didn't know that at the time, you know what I mean? Like I didn't realize him leaving would be that. And then when he moved to Oakland, it was all fucked. But like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what happens when you move to the East Bay.
It's now that thing where you like, when I see Clements and I'm with Clements, we're right back to it. You know what I mean? It is a Poe kind of thing. It is a Colin kind of thing.
And I think that's like what I was saying about the grown-up
Nicole
thing.
kind of thing.
Like
the Nicole Tan thing.
I have friends like my friend Winnie. Like she's been one of my
Winnie
best
Cooper.
friends since I first met her in 7th grade. And she can be gone for, I don't see her. She's so fucking smart. So she's like going to all these fancy schools and shit all over the goddamn world. She's at Yale now, no big deal. And I'm like, I cannot see her for years. And then I see her and it's like, we're good. We're totally right there. Right. And like going back to what you were saying, this is interesting because, we're talking about like the acquaintances and working together and convenience and all this stuff. It's like in the same way, this is very similar to IGN where it's like, I don't think necessarily we'd hang out with each other if it wasn't for Kind of Funny. And I think that Kind of Funny is like bringing us together. And it's like, there is that question of would we hang out outside of this if we weren't doing this together and whatever. And
I'd hang out with Kevin.
Going back to my,
Kevin's fun.
What I was talking about the dinners and stuff, for the first time ever, we went to dinner together recently. And it's like, it felt different. Like I definitely felt like I hit a level with you where it's like, it's the culmination. I don't know the best way to explain this. There's nothing special about the people I go to dinner with at IGN compared to everyone else at IGN. They're all family. It's just, those are the family members that went from here to have that one moment that's like, now we're friends,
Yeah.
And it's like, it's little things like that it's like, now when I look in the future, maybe it's like, say we get pulled apart, there's an earthquake that like brings us apart,
Well,
and it's like,
San Francisco.
yeah, it's like you are one of those people that I'm like, I want to catch up with Colin. Let's get dinner.
Right.
Let's drink bourbon and do Colin stuff.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
And it's like that's cool. I feel like we really, and this was recent. This is like spoiler alert, like last week. But like I think we became friends, and that's cool.
Yeah,
by
I
my
agree.
definition at least.
No, I agree. I think that there is something about breaking bread or drinking with someone, and it's symbolic. It's been eating with someone has been something for thousands of years since cavemen were sitting around fucking fire. Like it was about the people you trusted, and it's a primal thing. I think actually. In a weird way, you know.
I'm sorry, I can't
I
focus
know,
on you right now
I know.
because
It's comedy of errors over here. drops
Kevin
the,
as usual, ruining
drops the
everything.
pen, then doesn't want to lean into the frame, so he pulls up the
my
arm,
God.
then he reaches his thing down, his shirt pulls up so he sees
Holy
his belly.
shit.
He's just like, what is going on?
As for me, I know you guys are. I kind of want to let you guys just all talk because.
Sorry.
No. I mean, I did that on purpose. I want you guys to like.
You're pulling a Colin.
Yeah, you just sit on the side for a little bit and then get my point across. No, I definitely think that you guys all said very similar things to what I feel. I look at friendship as me as a person. I mean, I work customer service. I like to make sure I'm always friendly. I see regulars. I see people I used to go to elementary school. I'm in a smaller town. It's not like San Francisco, but like every day I see someone like my first grade teacher, or I'll see like my old ex-girlfriend, or I'll see something. And it's just like, it doesn't matter. It's a small community, and everyone is just happy. And I look at that as that's a lot of acquaintances. It's not like friends. But the way I describe the parameters of friendship are lifelong friends. And I have like maybe 3 just forever, just solidified that they can go wherever they go. And the moment they come back, it's like you said, you snaps and you can just pick it back up and you want to know what they're doing. You know that, like you said, when you're in your worst spot, they're there for you. And I think that it's all about trust and loyalty. And honestly, I just like to laugh. If someone can make me laugh and have a good time, like, you got to look at life in the humorous ways. And be kind. Shit, man, this world's fucking way too dark in times. Be kind.
Yeah, and that goes back full circle to what I was saying in the beginning, is that like the extraordinary kindness showed to me by the people I care about during that particular time was reinforcing, just like it was when we left. You know, it was important to me. It showed a great deal of caring and of loyalty. You know, that people, you know, I know I'm not the easiest person in the world to deal with. You know, like, you know,
nah, you're good.
like I don't think I'm as hard as I make it out to be sometimes,
You're
because
not.
I play
We
up my
give you a lot of
character quite a
shit.
bit. But I know that I have my quirks just like anyone does, and like I get into my spaces just like anyone does, and it takes this patient kind of person to be able to deal with anyone in those particular situations. So I appreciate it, you know. So let me also thank you guys for that as well. Yeah.
No, thank you, Colin.
You're
for your
welcome.
friendship.